Out in the quiet hills of Pinewood Valley, Jimmy lived a simple life on a small piece of land his grandfather once farmed. The mornings were crisp, filled with bird songs and the distant sound of a rooster crowing. For most of his 43 years, Jimmy had been content, raising chickens, growing vegetables, and selling homemade jams at the Sunday market. Life wasn't fancy, but it was his. But then, everything went wrong. One stormy night, a lightning bolt struck the old barn, burning it to the ground. Jimmy lost his tools, feed, and shelter for the animals. Insurance wouldn't cover the full damage. Then, to make things worse, a bad season brought drought. The crops withered and the hens stopped laying. Jimmy sat alone on his porch one evening, staring out at the fields turned brown, his hands rough and calloused from work that now seemed to be for nothing. His heart felt heavy, not just from loss, but from the fear that maybe he wasn't enough. Maybe life had finally taken more than he could give. But then, something small happened. While cleaning up the debris near the orchard, Jimmy noticed the lemon tree his grandmother had planted decades ago. It had flourished in the dry weather, bursting with fruit, hundreds of bright yellow lemons. He stared at the tree for a long time and laughed. It was almost absurd. Everything else was dying, and here this lemon tree stood tall and proud like it didn't care what the world threw at it. That's when it hit him. When life gives you lemons, he muttered, maybe it's actually trying to help you make something new. Jimmy got to work, not with crops or chickens, but with lemons. He pulled out his grandmother's old recipe for lemonade, added some herbs from the garden, and experimented until he got it just right. He set up a small wooden stand near the road, painted it yellow, and called it Lemon Light. The first week, nothing. Second week, a couple of curious neighbors stopped by. By the third, a local blogger wrote about him. Man turns disaster into lemonade business, literally. And it took off. People came from towns away just to try Jimmy's herbal lemonade. He added lemon pies, lemon soap, lemon preserves. He even started a small workshop for kids on the weekends, teaching them to grow and care for their own plants. The land was still dry, the barn still gone, but Jimmy's spirit was brighter than ever. He wasn't just surviving anymore, he was growing. Because life didn't just hand him lemons, it handed him a second chance. Sometimes what feels like the end is actually the beginning of something unexpected and beautiful. Pain can plant the seeds of purpose, and the thing that breaks you might be the very thing that builds you, if you let it. If you're feeling lost, broken, or stuck, let Jimmy's story remind you your lemons might just be the start of your lemonade. Want to hear more heartwarming stories like Jimmy's? Stick around, hit play on the next video, and let's walk this journey together. Let's learn, let's grow, let's turn our hardest moments into something sweet.